I'm so glad that I finally read Mr. Mischief because there's this one moment in all of the Michelin books that I remembered so vividly, and I couldn't remember which book it was from. Turns out it was Mr. Mischief. That's my cat who has just joined us, and I'll explain that moment in a second. Mr. Mischief has a wonderful design. I love the pink and yellow colours, they go together so well, and we learn that he is a very mischievous character. And that's one of my favourite bits when he gives Mr. Greedy a cake, and inside that cake is cotton wool instead of cream. And that bit was so prominent in my head in the toothpaste for icing, and I just couldn't remember which book it came from, but I remember it so vividly from my childhood. It definitely had a lasting impression. And he does all of these different mischievous things, and one day he meets the wizard. And the wizard decides to put a spell on him so that whenever he is mischievous, things go wrong. For example, the chair is broken. And this works for a little bit. He's as good as gold for a few days, a few weeks, and then he gets up to his old tricks again. And there don't seem to be any repercussions for that, which is a little bit peculiar. And I do have to say that he's kind of getting away with mischief. So it's definitely... There are kind of morals in this. There are kind of morals insofar as we do see the wizard punishing him and making sure that things come back to bite him, if you like. But at the same time, he does kind of seemingly get away with it as he starts to go back to his old ways. So it's definitely a story that I think is going to help children become interested in literature, take an interest in the character. Very, very beautifully illustrated, and that Mr. Greedy bit is just ultimate nostalgia for me. I'm so thrilled because I was starting to think that I just made it up and that I hadn't actually read it. This is book, where are we? We're book number 36, so we're quite a way through. And I was thinking, no, I must have just made it up. Obviously, it didn't really happen. Yes, it did. It happened in Mr. Mischief. It's a fun story. The moral isn't the most obvious, but it's there if you want to see it. And as long as it gets children reading, I'll always enjoy that aspect. And the nostalgia with that Mr. Greedy cake, I'm absolutely over the moon.